Attention is a basic human need. All kids need it, and honestly, all adults need it too. Attention is what helps us feel connected to other people. So it's your partner coming home after work and asking about your day and then actively listening.
It's also the mom in the grocery store who gives eye contact and maybe gives you an encouraging nod during a difficult moment. Or it's your boss taking a minute in the break room to ask about your recent vacation.
Attention from others reminds us that we are not on an island of one. It is our job as parents to fulfill this need for our children. If we don't, they will try to get our attention, and it's usually in a way that can be a bit annoying.
Fortunately, there are several ways to meet this need. First, all kids absolutely cherish one-on-one time where they have their parents' undivided attention that is not shared with another person or a piece of technology.
Yep. While spending one-on-one time with our kids, think about being on the same physical level. For younger children, this may be sitting on the floor or sitting on the coffee table next to them. Or for older children, you may be sitting on the couch with them or laying on their bed.
This should happen routinely, and it's not dependent on their behavior. Remember, we're adding this into that bottom part of the iceberg to keep it balanced. Attention is powerful, and children are driven to gain this from their parents.
There's quite a bit of research on the benefits of one-on-one time. You may have heard specific recommendations. So you need to spend 5 minutes per child or 10 minutes per child. We want you to remember that it's quality time over quantity of time.
One-on-one time also looks different based on the age of your kid as well as their interests.
At times, this is going to feel uncomfortable. Most of us haven't played in quite a few years.
You may also feel that inner tug of that pending to-do list. You as a parent should be engaged in an active part of that play. Leave that to-do list for later.
If you find this to be a struggle initially, start by describing what your child is doing. So while you're sitting with your kid and you're playing with dinosaurs, say, the green triceratops is stomping on all the other dinosaurs. Or if you're playing baby dolls, say, the baby loves it when you give them a drink from their bottle. You are showing them that they have your undivided attention.
For older kids, your one-on-one time has the same key elements that still apply. Talk or engage in activities of interest to your kid.
So this could be flopping on the bed next to your child and talking through their favorite Pokemon episode. Or maybe you get a little snack and sit at the kitchen, you play with Play-Doh, and let them lead the conversation.
In addition to the suggestions already shared, there are a few key components to remember. First, your child should really have the ability to choose the activity so it reflects that they're getting your attention. You're just not asking them to complete another task.
And second, we've said it before and we're going to say it again. It should not involve technology. This is quality time with your child, and technology should not be a part of it.
You're also not using this time to push a particular conversation, but you'll find that if you make yourself available, your kid opens up. Without an agenda, they just tell you something they want to share. This is really important because as they grow, you're establishing that firm foundation where when difficult topics arise, they know that they can come to you and discuss them.
Another way to make sure that your kids are getting their attention needs met is to make sure that you're also having family unit time every day. Every day, do something together that is fun and causes that dopamine release in the brain.
This doesn't have to be lengthy or planned ahead of time. You can just take some spontaneous moments, maybe a dance party in the kitchen, maybe a pillow fight in the living room,
or play card games on the way home from soccer practice. It doesn't have to be complicated, you're just finding moments.
Another great way to address that attention exchange is through active communication. We typically hear about this between adults, but it also applies to our kids as well.
We all love it when we feel really heard. Just like as adults, we don't want somebody to be giving us lectures or advice all the time. Our children are certainly not talking to us to get some sort of a life lesson or lecture.
We already do that enough most of the time. With active communication, listening to what your children are really saying, make comments, and then ask questions for them to expand. Remember something maybe they shared from an earlier conversation and bring it up later when appropriate. For example, maybe after they shared a story at the dinner table, you can say, Josh had a really interesting recess today. He usually plays with Aiden and Jackson, but today someone new joined and they scored 3 goals. He was really excited. Or, Sarah, I love that joke you told earlier. Why don't you tell your brother?
So, you may be thinking right now, how do we create extra time in our day to have these attention moments? This is where flexibility in your own family dynamics is really important.
Are you someone who really needs structure and routine? I usually do. You could label each time as maybe Sammy Mommy Super Special Fun Time. Write it into your schedule.
You may then need to actually set a timer before your special fun time begins to help make that transition out of your fun time easier. To do this, you're also going to need to introduce the timer. So you may say, I know that we're going to have so much fun today and that we might even lose track of time. I'm going to go ahead and set my timer. When it goes off, we're going to finish up and we're going to think about what fun time thing we're going to do again tomorrow.
For my family, we definitely feel the crunch of a packed schedule between school and extracurricular activities. For us, we actually labeled it 10 minutes of fun. Our kids knew that for that 10-minute time period, they could ask for any reasonable activity that could get finished. Sometimes they desired wrestling as a family, which did include their sibling, or they chose a quick round of their favorite game with just one of us as a parent. If the choice is between bedtime at 8 and staying on schedule, or at 8:10, that 10 minutes is truly a worthy investment.
Or for us, we've gone through phases of life where we didn't need a really firm schedule. So in those moments, I just keep a mental checklist of all the really good, intentional one-on-one times that I've had with my kids. So I think, have Sammy and I sat down and played together? If not, we try to make it happen.
You may still be asking yourself, how can I possibly fit in 10 minutes of extra time in my day, especially if you have a bigger family and multiple children?
Mm-hmm. We get that as a parent, some days you're going to feel stretched and you just can't fit it in. In those days, we want you to be able to create more attention, valuable times in parts of your day that you're already spending together.
Let's try the morning routine. Maybe you spend that time with your child the most, when you're waking them up, fixing their hair, making breakfast. Maybe when you're waking them up, you give a quick extra snuggle. If you're fixing their hair, give them a few words of encouragement or ask what they're looking forward to in their day.
So similar to your morning routine, your nighttime routine is probably a part of the day where you guys are already in the same room together. So what does that look like for you? Are you the one giving your toddler a bath? If so, make sure that's really quality bath time. Play really fun games with the different toys and letters in the tub.
Or if you're helping brush their teeth, sing a silly song and maybe throw in a few extra tickles.
Or are you the one reading your older child stories and tucking them in? Spend a few extra minutes asking them a question that they aren't expecting. So what do you think would happen if unicorns could swim under the water? Follow their train of thought as their mind wanders into silly, crazy conclusions.
Like most families, you may find you spend a great deal of time in the car, driving back and forth to school or other activities, and you may feel like a chauffeur. I do a lot.
Me too.
There's a great opportunity where everyone's already together, right? So make this an opportunity to work again on a conversation, but with no screens, no car entertainment system, no tablets, no phones.
So a good trick when you're in the car with your kids coming home from school is think of a new way to ask them about their day. So instead of grilling them with questions, just say, man, I thought of you during your math test today.
As kids get older, car rides can be a great time to discuss more serious topics where some of the pressures have been removed. So for example, they're not staring face to face with all that eye contact, where they're not feeling the pressure if they want to tell you something embarrassing or maybe something that was really worrying them.
So another natural time to be having quality time is during family meals.
If you're not already eating dinner together as a family, you're not alone. Only 30% of families currently eat together.
But you are all eating dinner, so try to make that shift to eat together. Research has shown that families that eat together have lower chances of obesity, lower substance abuse problems, and less depression.
We've just gone through all the ways to add in or provide attention, but there are some circumstances in which you're allowed to ignore your children when they engage in undesirable behaviors. This term is called planned ignoring. It references purposely choosing to not give attention to a specific behavior that your child is doing because you don't want to give attention to it and reinforce it. Attention is truly a powerful motivator. We want to pour into our kids, but we only want to reinforce those positive behaviors.
Sometimes as parents, we accidentally reinforce a behavior that we don't want to. Remember, we want to reinforce positive behaviors. The things that our kids are doing that we don't want to do, we don't want to give extra attention to.
Let's say your child has asked to go to a friend's house and you say no. Despite already answering, your child finds new and louder ways to beg for what they desire. You can simply state you've already answered their question. Their behavior will not change your mind.
Or maybe your child is asked to watch a show and you've already told them no. So what do? They whine, they fall on the floor, they get up, they stare directly in your eyes, and they start yelling. This is the time for planned ignoring. Just know that you've already met their attention needs by having one-on-one time and good quality family time together. So this is a good time that you can ignore their continued asking.
Here's an action step that you can try today. Spend 5 minutes of uninterrupted time with your child in an activity they choose. Remember, no electronics for you or for your kiddo. Give yourself this time to just relax, leave your other tasks for later, see how their brain works. You don't have to be a serious adult.
And here's another bonus action step for you today. At some point over the next day, have an intentional, active conversation with your child. Remember a key element from their story and then bring it up later in the day.